Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin and today we are playing with the Adept Cosmetics Seahorse palette. I know this one has been out for a minute, but they just had a Labor Day sale recently and I finally picked this one up. This is a palette where each shade is named after a seahorse type. It is primarily multi-chromes and they are all shimmers, and it is an expensive palette. So we're gonna do two looks with this palette today, and let's go ahead and get into look number one. Before we get too far into the video, if you have not already, I hope you consider subscribing. I upload videos twice a week. It's totally free to subscribe, and I would love to chat with you in the comments. I currently have a giveaway also going on my channel, so I will leave link to the video where you can enter the giveaway if you're interested. One of the things in the giveaway is a face palette from Adept Cosmetics, so don't miss out on that. All right, let's go ahead and get into the first look. Alright guys, now I am filming my fall 2023 eyeshadow palette recommendations video after this. So I'm going to start by going in with some mattes from the Xanadu palette by Saints Angels Sinners. I'm going to do Jean Kelly, which is this green, Mythology, and ONJ. These three mattes to start with, just to put something a little fall down to begin with. And then we will get into the Adept palette. I am gonna do the shade that's like a little more orangey and some of the kind of like greeny red duochromes in this first look, just because I think those will look more fall, especially with this like brown green matte foundation that I'm gonna lay down here. And then we can do something that's a little bit more like blue or pink or green, or something that's a little less fall in look number two. Now, while I'm blending these mattes, I do want to mention this is a very expensive palette, right? It says right on the front on the sticker when you get it. I peeled it off here, but it says it right here: eyeshadow and multi-chrome pigment palette. So part of why it is expensive is not just the packaging, which is really cool, with the raised up seahorses, the ombre color that you can see here fading, the fact that it's got these detailings where it's like thread that's stitched into it, has the brand name on the back. These are magnetic pans. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why the packaging itself would make the cost go up, but also the fact that it's multi-chrome shadows, right? So if you don't know, the pigments required in order to get that shift do generally cost more than a traditional shimmer or eyeshadow. That being said, we're gonna find out if, even with it being duochromes, multi-chromes, whatever, like what is the quality of them. I have watched some reviews on this video saying like the flip is too subtle, like not enough, and it's not apparent enough, and people didn't think it was worth the money. I've seen other people who have loved it. I just filmed recently, I'll leave it linked, my video where I talked about, in my opinion, what the 5 best indie brands are on the market right now, and Adept Cosmetics is one of them. And so I hope it's nice. I've never met an Adept palette that I didn't like. I know somebody I was chatting with in the comments in that video that they said the La Cienega one was the one that they tried and they didn't like. That's like one of the only palettes I don't have from them. And so maybe the quality isn't up to par on that one. I'm not really sure. I don't have that one. It was a bit too neutral for me personally to want to go for it, so I skipped that one, but I have almost all of them. I have a video on my channel too ranking all of my Adept palettes. I'll leave that listed as well in case you're interested. But yeah, it's normally, what is this palette? $130, $140, something like that. It's steep, you guys. The only reason I got it is because they were having a Labor Day sale, so that took it down to like $30 off. and I could stack an affiliate code on top of that. I think I used code Heather. I don't have a code. I'm not a big enough channel for them to know who I am, but I support Heather Austin, so I used her code. You can use that if you ever want to save. And then I also got free shipping. And so even with all of that, I'm not gonna lie, I did the pay in 4. I did, because it was still a lot, but I really wanted it, and I truly have loved everything. Eyeshadows, face palettes, like you name it. Anything I have from the brand, I love. So I hope that this is the same, but we're gonna find out together. Now I will say, it seems like only a few of these, like Giraffe for example, are the kind of like textured shimmer formula that I truly love from Adept. A lot of these are a much smoother formula, like you can see the shimmers on either side of Giraffe. You can see Giraffe has a different texture, right? These are smoother. And I think the first time I saw that formula from Adept was in their Arrow inspired palette, which by the way is coming back for holiday this year. They just announced. I have a video on that palette too, I'll link, but I think I might do a couple more looks just since it's coming back. Let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in seeing that. So I am currently putting down some glitter primer because in my experience, that smoother formula from Adept does pop better with a glitter primer. And I think maybe some people who said like, oh, the flip or whatever isn't that apparent, maybe they weren't using glitter primer. I don't really remember from the reviews I watched if they were or weren't, but that textured formula like Giraffe that I'm used to more than the smooth one from this brand, I feel you don't really need a glitter primer, and in fact if you use one they're so emollient they'll crease, but I think it's the opposite case with the smoother formula. So I'm gonna take Cindo right here, this shade, with that same flat brush that I just put the glitter primer on with, and I'm gonna start putting that in the outer portion of the eye. And these are all types of seahorses, like species of seahorses. Now why seahorses? I don't know. That's one thing I will say about Adept, is I feel like they're a little bit all over the place, right? Like they in some times will do like the Superman and the Arrow inspired palettes, and we've got superhero stuff, but then also they've had like Sumerian Sunrise just came out, and the Ketracel White and some of the liners are all Star Trek. And then we have a Seahorse. Like, it's just like a little random to me on the theming, which is totally fine. Like, honestly, it's kind of nice that they can mix it up and not just be like, and this is our one thing and everything will always be themed around this. But it's just funny to me that it's a little all over the place. But that's not a criticism. Please don't take it that way. It's just an observation. That is very sparkly and pretty. Let me zoom you guys in a little bit more. So here is this first shade, and I think you can see the shift. Now again, I did put down glitter primer, but it's got a little bit of green, a little bit of a red, maybe like a yellow orange, which I thought would look good with these mattes to make it look kind of fall. They are extremely sparkly, but they're not, of course, pressed glitters. It's just packed with reflective mica. I'm gonna go in next to Cindo that we just used into Paradoxical, a little bit there, and put that on the inner portion. In pan, it looks green, but it doesn't at all on the eye, as you can see. It's also got a little bit of that like, oh, I don't know how to explain it. It is like slightly green, but it's also got like that orangey reddish. It's different though than Cindo. They're definitely not the same. And then I'm gonna put a bit of Long Snout, which is this kind of green to orange. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick up this shift, I'm sorry. I'm gonna put a bit of that on the lower lash line here, and I'm gonna pick it up with a rougher 2 brush. That's pretty. And I, of course, I didn't even do a glitter primer underneath my eye. You know, honestly, because I'm wearing an orange blush, I like to try this sometimes. I think this shade, this orange shade I did underneath would actually be a really cute like glowy blush or blush topper for an orange blush. So I'm gonna take a little on a highlighting brush. Yeah, don't you think that looks nice? I do. That's like a very, almost like an orange glowy blush or blush topper highlighter. Ooh, I like that on the cheeks. It's got a slight green shift to it, so if you don't like a colorful highlighter, this might not be for you, but I really like that, the shine. Okay, let me zoom out, we're really close. So here is the first look, guys. What do we think? It's definitely, like I said, not that textured, more like flaky formula. I used more of the smoother shades in this palette formula-wise, but I think it has, look at this, it's almost like wet looking, like liquidy, right? And I was powdered, like very set before I did this look. So in look 2, I'll use at least one of the more like textured shimmers so we can kind of compare the formula here. But I'm gonna go ahead and do like my lashes, liner, all of that kind of stuff to finish this look to show you the complete look number 1. And here is the finished look number 1. What do you guys think? I'm happy with how it turned out. I definitely can see the shift. I'm wondering if people's qualm with it isn't necessarily like the shift, but I think the texture of the other shimmer formula that I'm going to use in look number 2, maybe it's just that formula with that more textured formula, I don't know what else to call it. Maybe people are just used to that and that they think that shift is more apparent than the formula that is smoother that I've used primarily in this look. So maybe it's the comparison of the two, but as I'm moving, I'm trying to show you on my lids, I definitely can see it, and I don't think that it is something that I have to really look hard to see. It's pretty apparent, I do think, the shift. I really love how this turned out, this fall look. If you're curious to know any of the other products I used in today's look, I will have it all listed down in the description, but for now, we're gonna go to look number 2. All right, for look 2, I'm gonna start with some mattes from the Spooked palette. This is by Gourmand Girls in collaboration with Doodle by the Bunny. I do not have either of the new ones, guys, and I want them, but trying to be good. So we're gonna use what we have. I'm gonna start with Scream, this little pumpkin lovely shade. In the crease, I already have put on my eyeshadow primer, and I'm just using an Ace Beauté P1 brush to put this in my crease. Then I'm gonna take Cauldron, which is this deep purple matte. I'm going on a Morphe JS6. I'm just gonna put that in the outer corners of both of my eyes. And that's gonna be it for the mattes, you guys. We are going next, of course, to the Seahorse palette. And I am gonna put Giraffe on next, since this is one of those more textured shadows. Again, hopefully you can see the texture of this is different than the ones beside it are smoother. I am gonna do a flat brush. This one's from Cleona. And this is more of their like squishy, putty feeling formula, which is my personal favorite shimmer formula of all time from any brand, at least currently. So we're gonna pick up some of Giraffe on the brush and put that on the outer portion of the lid, kind of somewhat overlapping that dark matte purple that I put. That's pretty. This shade looks a little bit more toppery, but you probably could build it up to be more opaque. The cool thing about this palette is that a lot of these shades are going to look completely different, layered on different types of mattes. So you can really get a lot of different looks using the exact same shimmers. So there is Giraffe. Just one shimmer shade here on the lid. And I'm gonna go next with Courtship. This one right here is a little bit textured, not quite as smooth as some of the other ones, but I don't think it's not quite as soft putty as Giraffe either, so it's definitely squishier than some of them in here though. And I'm gonna put that in the front portion of the eye. These are so reflective. I hope you can see just how shifty and shimmery they are. And those two have blended really seamlessly, honestly, together. They are different, but they have enough in common that they pair well together, and I purposely planned out and wanted to pick ones that paired well together. So on the lower lash line, I'm going to go with Narrow Bellied, this green, and I'm gonna go on a Refer 2 for that, just so we can test out some more shades, kind of see what we're getting with this palette. I didn't even think about it, but this is looking a bit Halloween with the purple matte and the green underneath. Unintentionally, but I'm here for it. I'm fine with it. And then on the inner corner, I'm gonna go with False Eye. This one right here, going in with a Morphe M560. I feel like this is a good one that's kind of like an in-between shade shift wise. Like it's got the blue that'll go with the green, but it's also lighter, so it's gonna tie into those top more like goldy, orangey, reddy shades. And then I'm gonna do another one as a face highlight, guys. I'm gonna use Soft Coral here. I think because it's got a little bit of a pinky base there, it'll work, but then it also looks like it has some blue or green reflect in it that I think will go with the look. If you use these as highlighters, I have noticed the last two looks here, you barely need any. It shows up like, you can see right there, the little bit of green. It shows up very intensely on the face. But I think since these are like sheer toppery type formulas, that they work really well. Like here, I can really see the shift there. There's some like yellow, green, blue. It's really pretty. And that one is Soft Coral. I am a colorful peacock once again. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and add liner, mascara, some kind of lip, and I will be back to show you guys the finished look. And here is the finished look number 2. What do you guys think? I went in and added in my waterline the Raw Beauty Kristi X Color Pop Spare Time liner just to emphasize that green shadow. I put underneath a little bit more. I did dark brown Wet n Wild liquid liner on the upper lash line. I have been loving these lip liners by Unearthly Cosmetics. They are really affordable too. I think only $6 full price. I got mine on sale when they did like a flash site-wide 50% off, so $3. I was super happy with that price. This one's in shade Khaki. And then just to like draw the purple out a little bit that I have in the outer corner, I went in with the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in shade Cold Shoulder. So I really like this one. It's pretty, it's sparkly, but it's, I don't know, it's not fall, but it is a little Halloween, but it's not quite like straight up Halloween, if that makes sense. Anyway, guys, we used between the two looks 8 out of the 15 shades. I feel like that's a decent amount. I tried to show you guys as many as I could, but of course you can only put so many shimmers on before, you know, they layer over top of each other and you can't get a true sense of what they look like. But I'm really happy with this palette. My thoughts. I think that full price, this is a lot, right? If you break it down, I think it's $9 and some cents per shade for the original full price. However, with it being on sale and stacking an affiliate code and having free shipping, these are about, I think it was about $6.73 or so per shade. And I really think this is very good quality for that price. I think it's gonna boil down to your preference. If you like more topper shades like this, that you can build up with a glitter primer. I did not use the glitter primer today because I used more of those putty textured shadows, and I don't feel like you need it with those, but it does help the smoother shades, I think, pick up the shift a bit more. It's just my guess. I didn't use it without yet, but it's generally my experience with this brand and this formula. And if you look at what multi-chromes cost from other brands, you're not going to get them for $6.73 a shade. Heck, at the full price, you might not get them for $9 and some cents, right? I mean, Terra Moons, think about the prices, you know what I mean? Electrum, it's $15 a shade. Now, their pans from those brands and those singles, I think, are bigger and more product than this. However, I personally like the smaller pans. I don't like a big pan. I'm not going to go through it. So for me to get this on a sale at $6 and some cents per shade is good to me. Like, I'm not mad about that, and I'm not mad at the quality whatsoever for this price. I think this is a lovely companion palette, right? You notice in both looks I pulled from other palettes for mattes. I probably will never use this just like alone and all shimmer look. I like a little something matte wise, but a beautiful companion palette, beautiful packaging. I'm really happy, and I think if you can get it the sale price, it's definitely worth it. It might be worth it at regular price too, but they do a pretty good job, Adept, at doing 20% off, you know, sales every once in a while, and you can usually stack an affiliate code. So this is a permanent item. It's not limited edition. So if you want it, I would say, you know, maybe do what I did. Wait till the moment's right so you can get a sale, stack an affiliate code, get free shipping, and then if you still gotta, like me, spread it out into 4 payments, right? Because it is beautiful, and I don't regret having it at all. If nothing, I will be patiently waiting for their next sale because I think Sumerian Sunrise is next on my list from them. So yeah, guys, that is all I have today for you. Thank you so much for watching if you made it all the way to the end, and I hope to catch you again on the next one. Bye!